Did you want to know? I wanted to do a little discussion on the scripture readings for today. First off, this text here, da pepper, as I like to call it, is a story, a collection of what it is to be human. And in it, you have every single human emotion. You have murder, you have lying, you have truth and beauty and life. You have all of the things. You have everything that it means to go through the human experience. But the thing about that pepper is that it's like an arc of a human consciousness where you have people writing from their experiences, things that they've gone through. There are only the think thoughts they are able to think are really intensely based on what they've experienced. So in the Old Testament, there was a very different, you were just starting to learn what it meant to believe in one God. And there's still a lot of wrath and that sort of idea because that's the way the think thoughts of the time were able to think. And all of a sudden you get little ideas of love and little ideas of a God of goodness and giving you what you need, manna from heaven. Now that's a brand new think thought that can help pull a person forward. And then Jesus just takes all of the think thoughts and is like, is inclusive love, and everybody's like, I don't know, I can't, oh, it hurts. Still 2,000 plus years later, same thing. I can't, you mean everybody? I don't get it. Anyway, so today we have Corpus Christi, and it's the body and the blood of Christ, celebrating and talking about that. Like, that's not confusing. But I have a few things that maybe might be helpful in how a person can think and approach on this idea. So I have my notes on the back of my Bible. And this idea in the Old Testament, the first reading, you have people talking, it's talking about God leading you through the wilderness. And it does talk about like God testing you and stuff like that. For me, that think thought doesn't sit right. Like for me, if as a parent, I would never be like, child, I'm testing you. I'm testing you. I'm going to make you fall. I'm going to make it so that you can't even get to sleep. I'm going to draw a picture of a monster in your closet and test you and see how you respond. Are you going to be able to have faith and it's not real? You know what I mean? It doesn't, for me, that doesn't make sense. And so that is an idea of how God and their perception worked. But just because you think it doesn't mean that it's true. Now, for me, the part of the ancient texts that speak to me is dang that, like God led you, fed you through the wilderness, even gave you, where it was able to give you living water out of rocks. All of these things, there's depth in that. When we are in our darkest moments, there is still beauty, there is still goodness. God is still feeding us and pulling us forward in life. And so that brings us into this new way of thinking of Jesus saying there is one God, a living God, and calls himself the Son of Man, which means of humanity, the one who is fully human, the blueprint, the person that shows us what does it mean to really enter our humanity. Well, it means weeping, it means forgiveness, it means love, it means inclusion, it means going to the outcast, it means going to the deepest, difficult parts within ourselves and dealing with the stuff that we've gone through with love and compassion and healing. That's what that means. That's how you have life within you. If all you do is buy things on Amazon all day or figure out what's wrong with everybody else, that's not life within you, beloved. It's avoidance. It's scapegoating. Jesus is saying there is one life. There is one faith. There is no Jewish way of breathing. There is no Christian way of breathing. There is no Hindu way of breathing. Here we are, we're breathing the same breath, the same foods that nourish and are good for us, and that's for everybody, except for if you're allergic to nuts, then don't eat it. That's not a good idea. But I think what this is saying is the same beautiful sunrise is for everybody. The sun shines on all of us, the warmth of the sun, the beauty of the sun, the gorgeousness of all of creation. It's not mine. It's everybody's. It's everybody's experience. And so when we come to Mass and when we share in the cup, the body and the blood, and we share in that, there is this mystery and there is this beauty. But I think what it is, it's to remind you that beauty is everywhere. It's the specific thing, the host or the wine. It's that specific thing that brings you and invites you into all of life, into that same beauty, into that Christ, into that love, into that Jesus that is everywhere around you. Can you have that life within you, within your church community, within the moment you wake up in the morning, within that delicious cup of coffee in the morning, within hearing a child laugh, within holding someone while they cry, within going for a walk and listening to the birds that pull you out of your spinning web in your head and actually into life where the living God is always calling us. So that's my think thoughts. And I hope that you're picking up a bit of what I'm throwing down home skillet, and take what you like and leave the rest. And know that God is always calling us forward in love and inclusion and forgiveness. And we all eat of the same life. We all breathe of that same breath. As Jesus reminds us that we are already one. Grace and peace, friends.